We are live in Oneonta. I'm Taylor Storley. Welcome to Pioneer Baseball. We've got an exciting PGCBL Sunday afternoon matchup. The 21-19 Pios take on the 22-21 Oneonta Outlaws. Oneonta enters the game fourth in the East. The Pios enter the game tied in the West, currently holding a tiebreaker over the Tarp Skunks. Their position in the standings will be determined on their result and the result of Auburn. That's if this game will have a result. Rain forecast in the area. We've got a couple nasty clouds going. We hope we're going to be able to get some innings underway before it starts. But for now, we've got some time for Pio baseball. The Pios, being the traveling team, will hit first. New Northern Essex Community College commit Cooper Smith will lead off, followed by Joel Osofsky and Bobby Marsh. Frank Wayman on deck. And there's a little shout out from Max Mandler. You'll see him batting sixth for the Pios. The Pios have been on a tear as of late. The two previous games they've played, they have won thanks to the run-ahead rule in the 5th and 7th innings, respectively. Callow starts on the mound for the Oneonta Outlaws.
Leading off, the right fielder from Northern Essex Community College, number 8, Cooper Smith.
It's now leading off Cooper Smith as a leadoff man. Doing really well with a .298 average as he's going to take strike one. I mentioned a fun statistic yesterday. Cooper Smith leading the team and getting hit by pitches. Although I will mention, despite that, he's able to take the bruises and get on base and convert quite often on base. He's had 13 stolen bases, only 3 times caught. That's tied for the most in the Pios alongside Osofsky and Wayman. He's going to ground this one over to short. But the throw took the player off the bat. Cooper Smith with a leadoff single. That is going to bring up Joe Osofsky, the two-way phenom for the Pios. Throws heat as a reliever, frequently topping 90 miles an hour with his fastball and playing as an elite defender and also hitter. He enters this game with a .275 average and a .781 OPS. Cooper Smith on first. Definitely expect him to be active and moving. That one taken, ball one. The 1-0. Strike one taken. Osofsky hitting .375 in July. That's second only to Bobby Marsh in terms of players still with the Pioneers. Absolutely on fire. Takes this one outside. It's going to be ball two now. Also give you some quick stats for Callow, who's going to start tonight for the Oneonta Outlaws. Callow hasn't been amazing this season, but he does carry an 18 strikeout to 11 walk ratio, proving that he's got some control. However, Osofsky able to use his eye to good effect. He's up 3-1 now. And keep in mind, we will keep you posted if it starts to rain. And good to see you, Cam. Good to see everyone else who's tuning in. Now let's get ready with the 3-1 to Osofsky. I have a feeling Cooper Smith might be going. Stays put, and Osofsky gets aboard. 2 on for Bobby Marsh. The Pio veteran and Penn State commit. He's hitting .308 this season and coming off an impressive day in Niagara. chaining multiple hits, multiple RBIs. And he's going to be tasked with trying to give the Pioneers an early lead. Last time the Pios and Outlaws faced, it was a pretty tough day for the Pioneers, as the Outlaws were able to get a lot of runs scored at Dunn Field. However, Pioneers looking to get some revenge on the road, and I actually just realized I forgot to change the graphic as we were getting ready for the game. I'll quickly get that. Oneonta is wearing orange and black, which will be updated over the inning break. We are wearing the standard navy and white. So I do apologize for that little mishap. Again, with rain and having to prepare for everything, just a little tough to get ready. Now the count is 1-0 for Bobby Marsh. Marsh fouls this one back, 1-1. So Callow, the lefty now, dealing to a lefty. Marsh gets under this one. Smith will try to tag up from third, and he will make it safely. Runners at the corners now with one away for Frank Wayman, all-star and team leader when it comes to average. He enters this game with a .336 average, third on the team with 21 RBIs. Cooper Smith leads the team with 23. However, I know he would fancy tying up Bobby Marsh, who's in second in that category, with a hit right here that could bring Cooper Smith home. This one fouled away. I'll say less kids out here tonight at Oneonta, but I know there'll still be quite a few running over to get foul balls. 0-1. Not surprised to see a Geneva rainout versus Auburn, which that means that we can get tied with Auburn. They'll have the tiebreaker over us, I believe, from previous meetings, but that will be the case to do it. Runner goes, but this one's in the dirt. Well, forget the dirt. That one's actually hit into Wayman. Bases will now be loaded with one out for Aiden Blake. He's a man who Muzio complimented earlier in the season, and honestly, he's lived up to that praise from Muzio, who, by the way, good news on Muzio's front. His wrist is still wrapped up, but the cast has been off, and he was able to take a few practice swings. He'll likely be out until maybe later in the postseason. However, he's still in great spirits with the team, and great to see that his recovery is going relatively well. However, Aiden Blake's done a great job filling in the lineup for him, and he's now got a chance with bases loaded to try to open the game up. Callow with a 9 average for the season. Could be in danger of not seeing that average improve here, but Blake is going to take strike one. On deck, the golf enjoyer, Max Mandler. This one low, ball one. Taken for ball two now. Aiden Blake enters just under 300 with his average. He's got a home run and 17 RBIs. His home run came recently against Newark, where he sent one deep left field and brought home 3 runs that would give the Pios a lead they would not lose against the Pilots in their double header. It was that double header where the Pios had a combined no-hitter. This one sent deep to right field. It'll be caught, but surely it brings Cooper Smith home. Both runners advance from third and second, run runner will stay at third. Runners at the corners, and Aiden Blake's sac fly gives the Pios a 1-0 lead.
The center fielder from Seton Hill, number 23, Max Mandler.
Another run scored there from Cooper Smith. Wilsowski gets to third. Here comes Max Mandler now with 2 away. I'll say Oneonta living up to its name. It's quite windy here. Having a hard time keeping my papers in check. Mandler hitting .313 on the season. Also carries a .450 on base percentage as he takes strike 1. Swing and a miss there for Mandler. The count 0-2. He got fooled with that inside pitch. Obviously, you got to be worried about that break that cuts to the inside for righties. Sliders and cutters can be deadly from a left-handed arm. 0-2 now with 2 away. Mandler not wanting to strand a few runners here. Runner goes. Count now 1-2. Runners at the corners as Wayman gets yet another stolen base. With that, Wayman takes the outright lead in stolen bases for the Pios with 14. And that is stolen base 112 for the season. Mandler's going to pop this one up. That's caught at second to end the inning. The Pios score 1-on-1 hit. No errors, 2 stranded on base. Pios baseball will be back right after this. Hopefully the rain will stay away a bit longer.
Owned and operated since 1905. At the Hilliard Corporation, we've proven ourselves time and time again as the leading industrial manufacturer in the Elmira and Southern Tier region. We make the products you need with the quality you and your business deserve. Industrial clutches and brakes, drivetrain products, filtration equipment, engine starters, braking systems. We engineer, manufacture, and distribute them. All of the products we manufacture are designed right here, so we truly know the products we provide for you, inside and out. On top of being an industrial manufacturer, at the Hilliard Corporation we also serve as a weld shop and machine shop. We specialize in creating custom parts and pieces to fit particular and uncommon applications. The secondary location is the home of the drivetrain division, where products for Polaris and other vehicle manufacturers are made. This is a high-volume, celled manufacturing plant that produces thousands of parts daily. Over time, Hilliard's product line has diversified, but our company has stayed true to our Elmira roots. Today, Hilliard maintains its original location while continually expanding its motion control and filtration product lines in the Elmira area. Hilliard designs and manufactures for companies around the globe, occupying more than 500,000 square feet and employing about 500 people. Taking pride in serving the Elmira community for over a century, the Hilliard Corporation.
Roderick. And pitching for Elmira from Elmira College, number 35, Jarek Otis.
Jarek Potus takes the mound. He's going to get a start tonight for the Pioneers. Brody, number 1, will lead off. He's also the team's right fielder. It might be Broderick, I'm not fully sure. As that pitch taken for strike 1 from Jarek Potus. The one word to describe Jarek Potus, well, he throws strikes. That's about as simple as it can get with him. 18 strikeouts to 6 walks, as this one is going to be fouled away. It's now an 0-2 count. Potos does a good job of avoiding surrendering the free base. He's conceded 23 hits in 25 innings, but he's only surrendered 10 earned in total, and the runs he did surrender both came off tough starts where he's only had a high leverage roll. Or low leverage roll. When he's had higher leverage spots, he's generally done a lot better. I'd have to check, but I believe it might have been against Oneonta when he had one of his tougher games. But he'll get started with this one well, as Bobby Marsh makes the flip for out number 1.
The designated hitter from 2A, number 33, Andrew Hollub.
Hollub comes up, number 33. Either way, let's tell you how the Pios line up on defense. Eric Charnetsky, the only catcher with us today. Pretty sure the other catchers are still here, but Charnetsky was the only one able to make the trip. He's going to form the battery. Over at third base, we've got Shimoleski. Shortstop, we've got Olsovsky. Second base, Blake. First base, Marsh. And left field, we have got Zach Odom. Center field, Max Mandler. Right field, Cooper Smith. Where Wayman and Logan Scheider are the DH and EH. 1-1 count after this one taken low. Holub for the season, batting .270. Four home runs as a program for the Outlaws. This isn't a home run. It's a lead-off hit. Olsovsky is able to get to it, but there was absolutely zero chance he could get a throw. Olsovsky is a great defensive shortstop, but he doesn't have that electric ability as an all-time great MLB shortstop. That's the only type of player who could have even had a hope of making that play. He instead keeps it shallow, keeps it in front of him, and makes sure there's no double on a play that could have turned 2. Drigi steps up now. Number 6 for the Outlaws. He's going to take strike 1. And so once again, we see an opening strike against Drigi. Drigi hitting .270 or .280 with a .400 on-base percentage. Devin Boone not in the lineup tonight for the Outlaws, which is definitely going to be a loss for them. Boone has been the team's best hitter all season. We'll have to see how the Outlaws can cope with it. And actually, yes, Robert, I actually was mentioning that. I had a chat with Scott Smith. They were grading the stats completely differently in Niagara, as this one's going to put runners at the corners. No, it won't. In fact, the runner got a little greedy and ultimately gets picked off. So, wow. It's a single for Derigi, but Holub gets picked off at 2. And yeah, Robert, unfortunately, that's just a stat-keeping error from Niagara. And I can talk with the team, see what they can do with fixing that point streak, but that is on them. He had multiple fielder's choice plays that weren't counted as an RBI, which is incredibly stupid. He really did have such a better game. When I'm reading out his stats at his next at bat, I'll be sure to add the few RBIs that had been missing as that pitch is taken for strike 1 with 2 away. Feel a couple drops if it starts to rain more heavy, or not more heavy, heavier. Get it together, Taylor. If it starts to rain heavier, we might have to pause the broadcast of video because we are out in the open and want to make sure this camera stays safe. Obviously, we might eventually get a rain delay too. But yeah, Robert Marsh, I do agree it's absolute travesty that Bobby Marsh's RBIs were taken away for him. Point streak there. I think they just were inputting things incorrectly. Even when there's a ground out, he still brings a run home, as this one is going to be sent over to right field, and it's going to be graded a fair ball. Runner is going to be rounding third and heading to home. Smith fields it, but ultimately, he's just going to be safe at third. Marsh wasn't going to risk the throw over to Shimoleski, but it is a 2-out double for Keegan. Derigi not able to get home. He's stuck at third. Runners at third and also one on second with 2 away. That brings them off up. number 49. Maximoff this season. He's only had 4 RBIs, but you know Aniata would love to have him get a couple right here. This one sent backward, and a couple of Oniata kids will go and get it. Pioneers' playoff push is indeed in full force. I believe Auburn's game might have gotten rained out, as Camden mentioned, which means if the Pios are able to take a victory here, we would potentially move ahead of Auburn, depending on how the tiebreaker goes. I have a feeling we'll still be 5th, but we will be right in striking distance as we enter the final week of play. 1-1 taken a little high. One here. That one's low. Ball 2. And also, Robert March, I'd say get in touch with Mark Witt about that. I know Mark Witt would be able to direct that request to the right sources, because we can definitely edit the point streak, I believe, later on and try to get that fixed. Fun thing for Podest actually has the most games out of anyone in the Pioneers pitching staff. This is game number 12 in his first start of the season. He's had 11 relief appearances through 25 innings so far. Already mentioned via their PA, he'll be at Elmira College next year. I have a feeling as a two-way player, playing not just as a pitcher, but as a basketball player. This one's going to be sent to left field, and he'll get down to tie the game. Aniata, a chance to take the lead. Throw in, not in time. It's a 2 RBI double, and Imhoff gets his 6th RBI of the season to give Aniata a 2-run lead.
Next up for your Outlaws, the extra hitter from Holy Cross, number 48, Chris Belargin.
Belargin up now. 2 away and a runner on second. Aniata struck right back. Was able to convert with 2 runners in scoring position. That one gets away from Charnetsky. Runner gets to third. 1-0. Pioneers entering the final week of the season, realistically going to have to take a must-win approach to every single game. It is a tight race in the playoffs. 22-19, 21-19, 21-19. That's the 3 records of the teams in 4th, 5th, and 6th. The Geneva Red Wings, 21-17. Depending on how their games in hand go, they could also be very much in that race too. 2-0 here. Ominous skies. I thought I felt a raindrop or 2 earlier, but things staying away. We are predicted to have a little bit of rain in the area. Obviously, things will be windy. I have to be ready in case that that camera falls over. As the count now is 2-1. Taking a look on AccuWeather, does look like we could get some, but knock on wood, we can still keep going for a while longer, as this one is up high 3-1. Belargin at the plate. 315 average with a 457 on base percentage and 865 OPS for the season. He also has 16 RBIs. 3rd in the team in the OPS stat, behind Boone and Broderick. Is this one sent foul? We got a full count with 2 away. And again, thank you everyone for tuning in here. If you're asking about why the view is like this, well, it's just because we have a really tough setup here in Aniata. Historic Damashki Field, no back grandstand behind the plate, makes our job a little tougher. This one's going to be lined to right. Cooper Smith tracking it, and can't come up with it. It's now a 3-0 game. That was hit very hard, and Cooper Smith eventually got to it, but couldn't come up with a catch. Another double.
Now batting for your Outlaws from St. Rose, goes the third baseman, number 10, Jelani Hamer.
And just a couple well-chained hits here late in the first. That's the only one weakness for Jarek Podest. Doesn't throw with the most velo. Instead, he paints corners and is able to get it in the zone. And when that happens, you can occasionally give up some good barrels. And that is what's happened here. But Podest can recover and bounce back. He's got to face Jelani Hamer. I've already mentioned this on broadcast before. Went to the same high school at Avon Old Farms. The former Winged Beaver takes ball 1 here. Was able to catch up with him as well before the game. So far, Hamer's been pretty solid this season, hitting .247. He also has 1 of the 4 Outlaw home runs this season. That one's low and away, 2-0 now. Pios and Outlaws have had some pretty competitive games. The first one was a thriller that saw the Pios take their first win of the season. Tough second match between these teams as this one swung on and missed. So we're going to see Kevin Serrano just go over to the bullpen and stretch out with Mason Smith. Don't think they're going to have to take out Jarek Podest. He'll be able to get the final out in this inning eventually. And I know he'll be able to go the distance in this start, but they just want to keep it safe just to be sure. That one sent foul, 2-2. Good showing here at Tomaski Field. It's not a kids' night tonight, so a little bit less, and no one will interfere with the broadcast, thankfully. But now 2-2 from Jarek Podest. Swing and a miss, and he's going to get out of the inning. However, that's not before 5 hits get surrendered and 3 runs score for the Oneonta Outlaws. 1 stranded as well. That'll end the first inning. Current line score entering the break. 1 run on 1 hit for the Pios that for some reason wasn't scored as a hit. 3 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for the Outlaws. Actually, I don't think it might have been an error in that play. I'll have to wait and see.
When you're on the go, your bank should go with you. You need to change the way you money. With Chemung Canal Trust Company, you can take control of your money your way. Whether you're multitasking from your home office, killing time at your kids' soccer practice, or jet-setting around the globe, now you can manage your money right from the palm of your hand. Change the way you money with Chemung Canal.
Well, we've got some terrible news. The game is being delayed. Thunder is in the area, and because of those regulations, this game is going to be postponed. We'll have to keep you posted on what will happen, but for now, that'll put a pause to the game here in Oneonta. If it is the end of the game, it'll be incredibly unlucky for the Pioneers, as it would be a 3-1 loss. Obviously, keep an eye on Point Streak and the PGCBL website. We will be going off the air as we get to a drier position. I'm Taylor Storley, and stay tuned for more updates, maybe